Odds are we're not gonna see this footage edited till next year.
Truth ships breached the
My track record.
Smashed.
Look, if you do some editing, just show like
Oh
basically
no,
like the
my
foreboding,
plan
like,
is whenever you're mentioning something lore-based or whatever shit, I'm gonna try and get actual visuals for what you're talking about. Say the commercial.
Here, East Africa, the ruins of New Mombasa. Then
I'm New Mombasa. I remember that. Shows literally Mickey getting his fucking chest ripped open.
Only temporarily. Now the Prophet of Truth is looking for
I
something
can
called
see it
the
now.
Ark,
God
where
damn
he'll
it!
be able to fire
Hey,
all
you wanna
the
play ODST after
If he
this?
succeeds,
Ah shit, dude.
humanity, the Covenant.
Ever since New Mombasa, just flash cuts, tiptoes through the tulips of all the fucked up
My
shit
fucking
happening.
webcam on
through.
for some
Good
godforsaken
news, Commander
reason.
Keys.
Good
I
as
hope
it
not.
gets, sir.
So I see.
It's not like I need
What's your
webcam. You want
status,
reactions?
son?
Here's
Wait.
the funny little horse dancing in the corner. There.
Glad to hear it.
What's your...
Commander's come up with a good plan, but without you,
I spent
wasn't
$100
sure we
on
could
this
pull it
webcam.
off.
Truth's ships are clustered above the excavation site, and his infantry has deployed
And now I'm just
anti-aircraft
envisioning,
batteries around
instead of
the
having any of Lord Hood be
If
shown,
we
it's
neutralize
just
one of the
that
batteries,
fucking icon
punch
you
a
always
hole
use on
in Truth's
MCC.
defenses.
Just taped over the screen.
Hit him right where it hurts.
Okay.
I have a handful
And
of
it just
ships,
bobs up and
Master
down
Chief.
as he talks.
It's a big risk, but I'm confident.
Uh-oh.
Emergency
Hold up,
generators,
hold up.
now.
I want to do a bit.
Shielding failed. They're down and charging.
As soon as they're up, re-establish contact with Lord Hood. Let him know.
Heresy. My soldiers told me he turned himself into a pickle. I said impossible. But yet, here you stand before me, tall and green. Your heresy ends here.
And not even
John
your
Halo.
will live to creep, blackened from its hole to mar the reflection.
Holy
of
shit, this guy talks a lot.
The culmination.
Anyway,
Shoot it out.
after we...
Darn it, they don't skip.
After the... Honestly, this is after the Cabal base start invading Earth, and we basically... This is basically we're helping out Zavala escape the fucking, like, tower.
No Destiny. This is only Halo talk.
Okay, so, as we're basically... They brought up, like, the 20th Century War from it was made. Would you like to know a bit more about that? Because the Insurrectionists were not the first rebels.
Yes, tell me about these rebel scum.
Okay, I don't exactly remember, like, the dates or, like, the locations that were fought, but this was, like, before, like, subspace was fully, basically, like, available to everyone. Like I say, it's available to everyone in, like, fucking public class. Just, what I mean is, like, you can basically, as a civilian, could literally just buy a ticket and go somewhere else. But back then, it was literally only, like, you know, like, specific, like, colony, like, things built by the governments and shit. Anyway. Due to the basic places like Mars and stuff like that were basically being exploited for, like, the Earth's benefit, and a lot of people didn't really like that. So some people have certain political, like, ideologies that basically have a history of certain crimes against my people took advantage of that. Nazis came back.
Oh! It's always those Nazis.
And also communists. Like, Marxism basically showed up
Good
again. It's
lord.
like, oh, yeah, it's a fucking, like, World War II, basically, like, definitive edition.
What are we doing now?
And this was actually the origin of the ODST drop troopers. But before they were ODST, I believe they were just called drop troopers. Like, you know, like, they're just basic soldiers put into, like, you know, like, parachutes and, like, pods and shit.
Does the screenshot button still work on this thing? Yes, it does.
Anyway,
I can take screenshots.
with this whole, like, war that happened, it was the whole reason why the UNSC even became a thing. Is because the United Nations were like, okay, if a fucking close-ass colony could basically, you know, go against EarthGov, then we're gonna need a bigger army. Which was also the reason why the insurrectionists showed up in the first place. Humanity solves a problem by making a new one.
I forget, were we supposed to kill brutes up here or something?
Yeah, there might be one left, or I'm not entirely sure.
I'm getting a feeling of deja vu.
Yeah. Anyway, the
Hey,
war
look, a
wasn't
brute.
really that war wasn't really all that long. In fact, it was actually pretty fucking quick comparatively speaking to other, like, human wars. It was just noteworthy because it's literally like, oh, the band's back together.
The boys are back in town. to kill you.
Anyway, as Slipspace kind of became a thing, insurrectionists started showing up as like a mixed ideology, knowing it. Basically, later becoming like going like, I don't care what you are, we're fighting against EarthGov because we're a bunch of farmers who don't want to pay taxes because
Look at me.
And
I'm going to fly away. Don't you dare take this away from me. Don't you
Roots, in the ops center.
oh, there's one thing I want to say.
Sorry,
When the
Commander,
airship,
there were
basically
too
after like a good maybe like 100 years, I don't fucking remember. Again, dates in the Halo universe are like a nebulous concept that I don't fucking know.
I want to see if it can carry me away and crush me in the skybox.
Farewell.
Come fly away with me.
Is it actually? Yeah. Farewell, my friend.
Goodbye, fucker.
But when it comes down to it, there's one instance in the Halo universe that UNSC kind of fucked up badly.
That is.
I can't remember the colony's name because it doesn't exist anymore because it rebelled, joined the basically this before the United Rebel Front happened, aka the Insurrectionists, and they just bombed it with a Nova bomb, I think it's called.
Boy.
You know in Halo Legends where basically like it shows like the bomb being dropped and like like the fucking city turns into a molten crater.
I'll have to point out the episode later so I could maybe use
it was it was in Origins.
Origins, yes.
That was the colony. And by doing that, a lot of these farmers were like, yeah, I don't like the UNSC, but at least they're not, genocidal maniacs. Saw that happen and go like, oh!
They are genocidal maniacs. We're fucked!
And then decided to just, come together and just say, fuck the government, making the United Rebel Front. Basically, everyone that was previously in the previous war joined forces. The UNSC somehow got communists and fascists to work together!
Oh, good lord.
Like, holy fucking shit! Like, in lore, I mean, blowing a fucking colony and killing everyone there kind of is a good, motivator in the sense of, hey, we don't want this shit to happen to us, so, ape together strong!
Speaking of apes.
Anyway, when this occurred, the UNSC had to basically, they realized, oh fuck, we're not just we as a species are not just UNSC or the insurrectionists, but our entire species are gonna fucking die if this arms race continues. So they, as a fucking group, basically, the UNSC made the Spartan 2 program. At first, they tried reviving the Orion project, but that really didn't work out because they just made a bunch of psychopaths with, super strength. With super cancer. Not like cancer in the sense of like a tumorous growth that grows. It's more so it looks like cancer because their nervous system's so fucked.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Sergeant Johnson is crazy. His brain is spaghetti. But I love him. He's an amazing human being, the best of us all. But besides that, when it comes down to it, yeah, a lot of I believe a lot of the fucking Orion members did go rogue, but not join the insurrectionists. Maybe some of them did for like survival's sake. But it was very much a situation where they really did not want to fucking die because Odie decided that they're fucking they are flawed, and also didn't want their genetics to basically get into the gene pool because, they don't want to have a genetic disease curve. Because,
I want to go check on an old Easter egg of the good old days.
It's actually the same reason why they didn't want the Spartan. It's actually the same reason why they didn't want the Spartan. This is why they didn't want the Spartan 4s. They were worried about Spartan 4s getting, shore leave because, genetically enhanced super soldiers spreading their genes into the general public. Yeah,
we don't want super babies.
Yeah. This actually goes into a little bit of a side tangent where it was called the Orion Mark II. I believe this was called, which is literally just random, basically, the Orion Project members that managed to basically slip Boney's net and actually have children. They're theorized that they exist, but no one has actual proof of them existing because they're smarter. Because the Orion, basically, the reason why the Orion project failed was mainly because they were forced onto an adult body. They could adapt to it. So, when this happened, what happens when we have something that basically, a genetic template basically, that, you know, is born with these things genetically added to them?
Bad things.
Actually, really great things. They became very much smarter and more physically strong than the average human. And, yeah, it's actually fan theory that the rookie from ODST is actually one of them. That's the reason why I can literally go toe-to-toe with a fucking brute. And punch his fucking lights out.
You want to play ODST?
Sure. I like smooth jazz.